Snowflakes drifted softly under the golden glow of Christmas lights as Emma Walker sat alone at the small wooden table reserved for Table 9. Her hands trembled slightly as she checked her watch again. 7:10 p.m. He was already 40 minutes late. She forced a smile at the waiter each time he approached. Maybe he's stuck in traffic. Maybe he just needs a little more time. But deep down, she felt the familiar sting she had known far too often, being unwanted, unseen. Tonight was supposed to be different. Her friend Hannah had set her up on a Christmas blind date with a wonderful, kind doctor. Emma had spent the whole week convincing herself it might actually work out. But as the restaurant grew louder with holiday cheer, and the seat across from her stayed unbearably empty, her heart slowly began to break. At 7:22 p.m., her phone buzzed. A message. "Sorry, saw your photo. You're not my type. Merry Christmas. Daniel." Emma's breath caught. Her chest tightened. This wasn't just rejection, it was humiliation. She quietly stood from the table, leaving the untouched cocoa behind, and walked into the crisp winter night. The cold air bit at her cheeks, mixing with the warmth of the tears she tried so desperately to hide. But God had a different plan. A block away, near the town's giant Christmas tree, two little voices echoed. "Wait, miss, please." Emma blinked and turned. Two identical girls, probably 6 years old, ran toward her, bundled in red Christmas coats with fluffy white hoods. They were small, but their bright blue eyes sparkled with a strange familiarity and innocence. One tugged Emma's coat. "You dropped this." It was her scarf. She hadn't even noticed losing it. But the girls didn't leave. Instead, the smaller twin whispered, "You look sad. Are you alone too?" Emma knelt. "Just a tough night, sweetheart." The girls exchanged a look. Then the older one asked in a tiny, trembling voice, "Would you like to spend Christmas with us?" Emma froze. "Where are your parents?" The twins pointed to a bench nearby. A man stood there, shoulders slumped, staring at the ground as if the world had beaten every last bit of hope out of him. The older twin tugged Emma's hand again. "That's our dad, Benjamin. He's lonely too." Emma's heartbeat echoed in her ears. Meeting Benjamin. As she walked toward him with the girls, the man finally looked up. And Emma stopped. Benjamin Hayes was handsome in a quiet, tired way, dark hair, warm brown eyes, and the look of someone who had carried too many burdens alone. He immediately stepped forward. "I'm so sorry if they bothered you." But Emma shook her head with a gentle smile. "They saved my night, actually." The twins clung to their dad's coat. "Daddy, can she stay with us for Christmas?" Benjamin looked embarrassed, coughing softly. "They're still struggling. Their mom passed 2 years ago. Christmas is hard." Emma's heart squeezed. The girls looked up again, hope shining across their tiny faces. "We asked Santa for a mom," the smaller one added softly. "And he sent you." Emma covered her mouth, tears stinging her eyes. Benjamin's cheeks flushed. "Girls, she's a stranger." But Emma interrupted gently. "Maybe we can all just walk together, just for tonight." The twins cheered. Benjamin hesitated, then nodded. And just like that, the four of them walked beneath the giant shimmering tree, the world around them glowing. A Christmas evening that changed everything. They shared hot chocolate. They laughed at the girls' silly jokes. Emma learned their names, Grace and Lily. Benjamin learned about her job as a nurse, her lonely Christmases, her quiet hope for a family someday. A soft, warm connection began to grow between their conversations, gentle, unforced, honest. But behind his smiles, Emma sensed something heavy inside Benjamin. Later, as the twins played in the snow, she finally asked, "Benjamin, what scares you the most?" He swallowed. "Failing them," he whispered. "I work 2 jobs, I barely sleep, and still I can't give them the life they deserve. I'm afraid I'll never be enough. Emma touched his arm gently. You're giving them all the love in your heart. That's more than enough. His eyes softened with gratitude. He couldn't speak. The challenge. Just when the night seemed perfect, Benjamin received a call. His second job, the night shift at the delivery warehouse, needed him immediately. He looked torn apart inside. I can't leave the girls alone, he muttered, but I'll lose my job if I don't go. Grace and Lily clung to his coat, terrified. Emma didn't hesitate. Let me stay with them, she said softly. Benjamin's eyes widened. I can't ask you to do that. You didn't ask, she smiled. I'm offering. He hesitated, heart racing. Finally, trusting her more than he understood, Benjamin nodded, knelt, kissed his daughters goodbye, and whispered, Be good, she's a friend. Emma spent the evening decorating a tiny Christmas tree in the girls' home, baking simple cookies, telling bedtime stories. The little house felt warm again, alive again. And when Benjamin returned at 3 a.m., exhausted, he found something he hadn't seen in 2 years. His daughters asleep peacefully, and Emma curled up beside them, holding both protectively in her arms. Benjamin's throat tightened. He realized then, God had answered his prayer too. The question that changed everything. At sunrise, the girls woke and ran to Benjamin. And then both turned to Emma with sleepy smiles and asked, Miss Emma, will you be our mom? Emma's breath hitched. Tears streamed instantly. Benjamin froze, stunned. But Emma gently pulled the girls close. Her voice trembled. I'd be honored if it's okay with your dad. Benjamin stepped forward slowly, heart pounding, eyes burning. Emma, he whispered, I think God brought you to us for a reason, and I'd like to see where this could go. Emma nodded with a trembling smile. The twins screamed with joy and hugged them both tightly. 6 months later, on a sunny June afternoon, Grace and Lily sprinkled flower petals down the church aisle. As Emma Walker became Emma Hayes. And when the pastor said, You may kiss the bride, the twins shouted. Finally, everyone erupted in laughter. Final message. Sometimes rejection is God's protection. Sometimes heartbreak is the doorway to the family you were always meant to find. And sometimes